So in this Simulink model, I have a state flow block called a chart. I'm going to double click into that and explain what that is first. Now, a chart shows the same thing as a function, but within a flow chart representation. And in this case here, there's first an entry point into our system where the default color is green if we're going to consider each of these letters as a variable holding a number which is output to the RGB LED. If the proximity value coming in is less than 10, then what's going to happen is from red it will move to green, and if it's more than 10, what will happen is our model will move from green over to red. So by clicking this up arrow up here at the top, I can look back at my Simulink model in general, and then I can go ahead and think about, okay, which values do I want from the IR sensor, and what types or what values do I want for red, green, and blue on the RGB LED right there to produce the behavior that I want in my Mini-Q robot. So what I've done this time around is deployed my Simulink model to hardware by pressing this button up in the top right. Afterwards, what happens is as I wave my hand back and forth in front of the Mini-Q robot, the RGB LED will change between a red and a green color. And if we go into the chart by double clicking into it, we can see that it's exactly that type of behavior that we tried to model within our state flow diagram, our flow chart. The step up from the model we looked at earlier is the addition of a motor block, Mini-Q motor block right here. And if I click into the chart, you'll see that now there are two variables, MR and ML, listed between two states with arrows between them. And what those variables control are the motor speeds, the outputs given by way of my state flow model. So if proximity is bigger than 10, then motor right will be set to minus 255 and motor left will be set to positive 255, so there'll be a turn. And also you can see, just as in the model before, the RGB LED will shift, its color will shift depending on what proximity value is being inputted into the system. So it's red in this case when proximity is bigger than 10, and if it's less than 10, then the Mini-Q robot will shift to show a green color from the RGB LED, and then the motors will be going straight, 255, 255. With this model deployed to hardware by pressing this button up in the top right, the Mini-Q robot will go straight unless my hand is placed in front of it, in which case it will initiate a turn, and there will be a different color light for this action. If we look into the chart, we can see exactly how we've structured our state flow model and how it matches what type of behavior we're trying to represent. And as I move my hand back and forth, you can see that the motor direction is changing as well as the RGB LED lights.